Hey you Mexicans, welcome back to this new video where today we're going to be looking at a scenario where the three WISCO civil war, like the three WISCO Cold War countries come into the modern world. So this includes the old empire plus their puppets, the Chad Niger one and the Iran one. Then we have the Chinese over here, the Chinese country, which has a bit of Mongolia too. And there's still bits of China left. We'll deal with that in a bit. But we also have the Russians with their puppet states over here in the west. So yeah, we're going to be looking at this. Now, before we have the three go to war with each other, first they will expand to make sure they don't have any problems. But first up, we have the Russians finishing off their expansion in Manchuria in that area. So they declare war on they declare war on Russian Siberia. And yeah. This also pretty much so yeah, this is gonna be an interesting war. Russians are winning this though. We also have these areas, but they're Russia's a little more split up in terms of countries now. So this area is its own country, that area is its own country, in this area is its own country. We'll see where that heads. But as for what's gonna happen to Eastern Russia, yeah, it's as dead can be. A good factor as to why it is dead is because these areas are weak as heck. If we look at if we look at the city map, the only city that this country has is over here in this area. As the rest of Russia is kind of just under the Grey Russia's team, or which is Russia now. Now, granted, these areas are hard to invade, but since it's Russia, we're going to ignore that. And well, these parts of Mongolia are just dead, period. I mean, they're Mongolian. They're not even, like, Mongolia's kind of dead. They take out Siberia, northern Siberia, as this area just falls under Russian influence. And then we have Manchuria getting partially invaded, with Upper Manchuria being annexed. And then the only two cities of Manchuria, no, the only three cities of Manchuria getting captured soon after. And, yup, now this is all Russian. Let's take a look at a peace treaty. Okay, so in this peace treaty, Russia annexes the rest of Eastern Siberia and the rest of Manchuria and Mongolia. So, yeah. Now, as for the Central Asia area, they're gonna be fixed up quite a bit. The Russians, well, for one, they kind of just finish off this thing. No one opposes to it because it barely even exists anyway. But they also kind of just not expand upon Central Asia that much. They do take out their bits of Kazakhstan though, but they don't really want to expand too much into Central Asia. But as for the old empire does have some certain areas that it wants to do better in when it comes to the border. So they're gonna expand upon Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. And now the border looks a little better. But there's one thing that's missing in this, and that is what's gonna happen with the rest of Central Asia. Nothing. Kazakhstan can survive on its own. It still has the capital and stuff, and yeah, these two are fine. What these states do is just declare neutrality, as the old empire and Russia kind of don't want to expand in that area. But as for the Iranian puppet state, there's like a little bit of Iran that still exists. Yeah, I don't think that it should exist, and that's exactly what happens. As well, it gets properly integrated into the rest of the Iranian puppet state, aka what is remnants of the Lime team, Persindia. So yeah. As for China, I think they're wrapping up, and they're gonna wrap up their stuff in the modern, in the freaking, like, they're gonna take out the original China along with bits of Mongolia that are left. India will join in for the sake of getting what they want, which is Kashmir and influence on Tibet too. That's what they want. Now, actually, the first thing the Indians do is kind of cut off Tibet from China, as they pretty much take over the whole thing. And we also have, and now we have China, who takes out the remaining populations of southern China, which is pretty dang populated still, despite the fact that they lost a majority of it. Southern China is less of a sweep than main China, but main China is kind of already under this Chinese team's control, so, well, yeah, once all the cities are taken, there's not much population for this thing to even go off of anymore, so that collapses pretty quickly too. And then what remains of this area gets split up by themselves, and Russia enters in to kind of take some land for themselves, fix up their border a little bit. So yeah, let's take a look at this peace treaty. In this peace treaty, we just have the annihilation of China and Mongolia as a state, as this is the new China. As remember, this China's from Adizz's WISCO. And well, it has taken most of mainland China. The only thing it didn't take is Tibet and bits of Xinjiang. As if we compare it to the regular map, which has the alliances of the world. See, this is, let me tone down this scale a bit. So this is the original Chinese border. This is how the borders were originally, as you can see. And then to compare, we have well, this is the Chinese border of this one. It changed a lot. They don't have Manchuria anymore. And well, Mongolia just doesn't exist. It's split between the powers. But places like Tibet, independent. This is the outline of the Chinese country from WISCO. This is what Russia took, sparring a few details. And then this is India's Tibet. But yeah. And then Russia took these areas too, so yeah. Also the CSTO, it does have its member states in this layer. As you can see, Russia itself doesn't really exist anymore in a majority. I mean, Kola does, but that's the only remnant you get. And as Poland itself just, yeah, doesn't really function anymore, then yeah. It's kind of just when it comes to that. Speaking of Poland and stuff, though, now we gotta wrap up the European side of things. And well, the old empire and Russia really just want to wrap up their expansion by, well, the Russians take care of the pockets in Europe. Wrong map. There you go. They take care of the pockets near them. Russia takes care of these pockets. While the old empire actually just wants to finish up in the Balkans period. And that includes Hungary. Do they want Slovakia, though? I think they will get Slovakia. Why not? Let's turn off the capitals for a second. Because I don't think that that these countries stand a chance. As they're getting gangbanged. Old Imperial troops push in. And they take the areas they want. They really didn't want any of Romania, but they do push in a bit just to get it over with. They also take Ukraine and Poland. But this is a joint agreement, so the borders for these two have already been decided. That's like not changing. But yeah, the borders for these two have already been decided, so these occupied lands aren't going to be the borders. But yeah, let's start on the capital layer again. Yeah, Romania was screwed. So that's that. Bulgaria's capital doesn't even exist. Hungary's just okay, it's in a better position. Still, yeah. The old empire is close to a lot of these capitals. Only exceptions are the ones that aren't captured by them. But still, in comparison to the old empire, these countries don't compare. And with that, we can take a look at a peace treaty. So in this peace treaty, we have the Balkans and Ukraine and all that being annexed into respective countries. But as for the puppet states here, they kind of made an agreement with the old empire and Russia. So basically the Germans would be finished off completely. Shoot, I forgot something. But yeah, North and South Germany will be a thing. And old empire, we'll just finish off bits of Czechia and Slovenia to make the borders look better. Now with that, we just have to get this thing kind of resolved. These borders are kind of triggering me here. So Kazakhstan will join Russia. I'm just trying to see if the borders will get a bit better. Yeah, it's a little better. Not the best, but, you know, it's better than nothing. Yeah, with that, that's gonna do it for part 1 of this shit. We're gonna do part 2 soon. Part 2 will go finish off a couple more patches of the old empire, but then it'll be the whole World War III between these 3 powers. Some third parties might get involved too, but you know. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a new video. Peace out.